Sorry guys, it just wasn't on. It just wasn't on the what is it list. I've got him here. I think. Good. Yeah. Sorry guys. I apologise to too many's in here. So. Okay, there we go. Tim, sorry about that, buddy. We do apologise, mate. We are live. I'm just waiting for the invite off Bowie, and we'll get going. Thanks for joining us on the stream. I've got an invite. Right, boys. Just a heads up. We're going to get into qualifying. Remember that we're doing this for a good cause. We'll be on the stream, so please respect one another out on track. With that said, best of luck to all of you guys. Really buzzing for this round. Sorry, everyone on the stream while we're getting this sorted. Okay, we're... hang on, no. There we go. I'm in. Right, sweet. We're on, and we're ready to rock and roll. Thank you ever so much. We're going to start the stream off, get the boys warmed up, if you will. Hopefully my mic will be less cutty in and outy. We've actually put some charge into it this week. We are also joined again by Bowie on the cameras. He did a cracking job last week at Fuji, and I'm really appreciative of him here tonight. Bowie, any thoughts coming into qualifying? Anyone keeping your eyes on tonight as we head into our second round?
Well, last week we saw a very big dominant race from Thorsten Schmidt, so I do think that he's going to be the guy to watch out for. But of course we saw through the rest of the pack lots of battles going on, so I do expect a lot of battles still going on this track again. And given the fact that there's a lot of overtaking opportunities on this track, I do think it's going to be quite close.
Yeah, I think it's going to lend itself to overtaking if the boys are aware out on track and keep their eyes peeled. I think we'll see a lot more overtaking than we did in Fuji. With that said, we are just about to get going here on our second round of Motive Racing GT3 League Super Saturday. Thank you everyone on the YouTube channel for joining us. Thank you for the graphics there, Bowie. Let's get into it. It looks like we're watching that Skyliner just stretch its legs as it starts to put some heat in the tyres. I imagine most of the guys tonight are out on the harder tyre, the harder compound. Maybe a little mix for qualifying, maybe some of them opting for the softer tyre. It is a right-handed track, so maybe some of the guys have got hards on the left. We will see for tonight only. The pit exit there you see in the blue chevrons will be sanctioned by the guys watching. Both me and Bowie are keeping our eyes open. The guys have to have at least 2 wheels outside of that line. As we're watching Uber come out the pit last week, of course. Uber, no, at the minute is 13th in the Drivers' Championship. Team Thunder Racing. Pleased to announce a lot of testing's been done by Uber and Chris and there've been a lot of media here this week trying to get views on the chassis. All they've managed to get is a couple of blurred pictures as both of the Bentleys blast up the wheat cot straight, so be great to see what Team Thunder Down Under Racing can do this week between them both. There's a lot of testing being done, so I'm expecting them Bentleys to be a little quicker as we're watching M-Shell make his way around the corner curves into the old hairpin. M-Shell currently sitting 13th in the standings. Is our Holland driver there? Tied with Uber. So all the boys after almost 1 round of racing, so it's relatively close throughout the standings. But there is a point and meaning to be within the top 10 at the end of the season. So the boys not only fighting over first and second, they will be fighting throughout the field. I think Fuji was a test of that. We sort of racing at the front and the back of the grid. Donnington GP, so yeah, one of the classics, one of the staple mates of the British calendar, located in Leicestershire. This beautiful track circuit, first built in 1931. I believe it was acquisition by the army. We were in the war as an airfield. Reopened again in 1977. The lap record belonging to Ayrton Senna in 1993, set at a 1:18. Flat. I don't think the GT3s are going to be quite on the case as we're watching Stefan Savano, and it looked like it was Ollie just coming out the way there as we're watching Evan get very, very wide coming out of red gates there. Tricky old corner. We will go for a walkthrough, but for now we'll just keep on top of the boys and the action. But yeah, lots of information on the track, very historic. This season again is brought to you by Taylor Logistics for all your travel needs. Massive thanks for them for sponsoring season 1. Of course, there'll be trophies there for the winners of the Elite and Tier 2, and a Constructors Trophy too, so some incentive for the lads there to really put their heads into this one and take it seriously, which they all are. I mean, they're really glad to say they're back on the Discord. I urge everybody watching to join, totally 100% free. We have leagues running throughout the week. We have Clio Cup, GT5, GTE, the USA Series, and LMP2, which is run by Uber, our Flying Dutchman, who is on the track tonight. Team Thunder Racing. It will be on after this feature race, which is after the sprint here, which of course is double laps, our blue ribbon event. Bit of a nightmare last time out, Barry, in the feature. Thorsten, who took gold in the sprint, didn't actually make it off the starting line, took damage on the rear and parked the car because not everyone was aware of what was going on the AOR style rolling start.
Yeah, it seemed like Thorsten Smith had a very bad start. I don't remember who it was, but somebody rear-ended him on the starting grid and gave him that much damage that he couldn't go on anymore in the race.
Took a big hit. Yeah, he took a massive hit. He really did. As we were watching our Russian 22-year-old driver Thomas battle now as he heads down the Hollywood into Grainer Curves, into the hold hairpin, and we will go through a lap corner name, and we'll basically go for a track guide of it. But yeah, this season brought to you by Taylor Logistics. Thank you very much for supporting our first season. Obviously, throughout the GT3 League, every Saturday, coming at 5, we will be trying to shed some light on certain charities and good causes, and try and do, Stefan Savano, like he either lagged or he has reset the track. We're going to try and spread a bit of positivity as we are healthy here in our sim rigs and commentating, so we can spread the word and do something positive throughout our season. Then we should do it. I think we're all very much persuaded to do that sort of thing, especially in the time of need. So this week, for GT, we're going to put the spotlight on an amazing work with Mind UK is doing. Many of us have found ourselves worrying about financial circumstances, our jobs, our education, as the coronavirus has taken hold. Times like this, it can feel like things are falling apart. This can have a huge impact on our mental health. Money worries has left us with mental health problems, struggling to pay the rent or afford food. Universal credit claims have soared since the crisis begun, but complicated processes are making it difficult for many of us to access the help we need. We know those in power to make sure that nobody falls through the cracks into poverty. With the benefit system, we must be there, and we will be there for you and try and support you as much as you can. So I urge every single one of you to take a minute of your time and visit www.mind.org.uk. There is lots of useful help, information, advice available for anyone suffering with mental health issues, young and old alike. There's a very easy donation process if you're feeling generous, there's a card and PayPal option, and there are other various ways you can get involved with Mind UK, with the fundraising that we try to do with Mind UK. Get involved, register for your virtual fundraising pack and help spread the word. And here's the webpage one more time. It's www.mind.org.uk. So fantastic. Hopefully we can shed a bit of light and spread the word a little bit on the fantastic work that they are doing. Back to Castle Donnington, this 2.4 mile track the GT3 boys are going to tackle tonight as we're on board with Olimar, our French driver. Just coming out of Cops down the Starkey Straight. Yep, he is indeed. Currently sitting, where is Ollie? Is a 1:33 P12 minute outside of a top 10 position. Thorsten Smith just in the background. He'll have a point to prove after the sprint session. He took on the first ever gold, which was last week, the first sprint session in Fuji. And our German driver from Berlin. Was unlucky in the feature, obviously, as we've just been talking about, both me and Barrett, that we received a massive shunt in the feature as we have a manual rolling start where we have an out lap, let the boys do a bit of a tyre warming and whatnot. It will be a reverse grid, so the guys in this sprint race that finish P1, 2, 3, 4, they'll be all towards the back. Should lend itself some good racing as well. Watching Ayrton Stefano now, tackle Goddard, so very wide line, straightens the corner off. Important to get a good exit. Coming up now, the reach drop straight into Redgate. See what sort of an exit he gets. It's a difficult one. We did see you in the background making a little bit of a banana of it, but it's got a lot to do with cold tyres as well, so we won't put too much emphasis on the Irish driver from Tiffany. Of course, teamed with Thorsten Smith in the Board Sport Sim Racing. Currently third in the Constructors Championship on 74 points. Not far behind second place at all. We've got some fantastic teams tonight out on track as we're watching American driver Bertu Deleuze, who wasn't here last week, was Mr. GT3 Racing. We missed him out at Fuji, so it's great to see him out on track. This boy is obviously been way out west. He's dealing with some time zone issues, so total commitment from our American driver here to, race with the boys on a relatively early evening for us UK guys. But massive props to Bertu Deleuze for his commitment out on track tonight. It's big in the upgraded Bentley. The testing here all week, we've seen certain snapshots throughout the Discord as the engineers murmuring around pit lane about that chassis being road legal, but for tonight at least at Donnington Park, Chris and Uber have been given the all clear by the FAA to run it. Of course, I mentioned earlier the media trying to get snapshots off that car. It's a raw through there. Physically, you can't see too much of a change in them, but talking to the drivers yesterday in pit lane, they were very quietly confident that they'll be able to put up a fight tonight. At the minute, Uber in a top 10 position. That's fantastic, and for Chris, it's P4, 127.9. So, currently, P1 on a 126, 3 tenths behind him is Forsten. We knew he was going to be up there or thereabouts. Dalavan, who had an 11 outing last time, it must be said, our Italian driver, really impressed in Fuji with a second and third. Team Pog Champs at the minute are currently first in the Constructors' Championship. First at the minute with 96 points. Of course, Dalavan teamed up with Kurt. Kurt and Dalavan, different cars. In the interest of having multiple teams in the championship, we've allowed for this season them to pair up also. I think there's Emo out there with there too, I'm sure they've teamed up as well. So we've got a few teams. Hopefully next week when we come to you, we'll have all the team names in the graphics at the top. Had a bit of an issue this time out, so we're starting a little late, so we do apologise for this as we're on board with Forsten, coming through the foggy S's. Fantastic corner. I like to take a lot of curb on the left-hand side to try and straighten it up, but if you've got the car set up wrong damper-wise, that curb can pull you all over the place. It is usually, if the car's not behaving, a lottery every time you go over that curb, whether you're going to land the car right or it's going to fling you off. So Forsten thinks he's done enough there. Got the 4.5 minutes to go, 3 tenths behind. Chris now coming through what looked to be the Schwanz curve into McLean's. Fantastic corner. Coming up onto Cobbs, it's blind apex here. Commitment at the fullest. Had his teammate running behind him, so maybe a little bit of drafting going on. It's definitely Bentley in the background. Fantastic watching those cars out at Fuji, of course with the green neon at the front of them. Doesn't make them go any faster, but they certainly look the spectacle coming down these big straight back in Fuji. Not quite a bigger straight tonight at the Weefbelt straight, but still, I think we're going to see a lot more overtaking as we're seeing a full car of, a full grid tonight, which is great to see. We should have had one last week. There's a couple of drivers missing tonight, of course. Andy is a key worker, so he'll be sitting away at work, I imagine, with his phone out, checking the stream out. And again, I urge every single one of you on the stream to get involved. Who's your fan favourite? Is Murphy51 out there? Tell us who's going to win the race. What are your thoughts? Any strategies? Obviously, the sprint race includes no pit stop. Dicos this week as his teammate, so they're definitely going to be looking for some good points. Last week he set out scoring on his own was Dicos, so be interesting to see our Peruvian driver from La Jazz, 15 years old, started very much ahead last time out, it must be said. 4th in the championship. 1 point behind third, which is Sebas. So there's all sorts to play for here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully come next week we'll be able to give you a lot more graphics, and the Bentley's coming out again, so yes, definitely some team tactics going on there. As Chris goes down from 4th to 5th, Sebas P4, Dalavan P5. It looks like Ollie and Yomko in the pit. Yomko a little bit quiet this week for the Discord, wasn't sure if he was going to make it, but good to see him out on track. And it looks like Bertu's managed to get himself within a top 10 position. Now, it doesn't count for much within the qualifying session, but it makes your life a lot easier in the race. But now, looks like he's really struggling with Redgate the first corner, just struggling to put the traction down. Whether he's too hard with the traction control, I'm not too sure, but I've been doing a good job so far. Again, our Irish driver from Tiffany, good showing in Fuji feature with a 4th, just missing out on the podium. Team Broadsport Sim Racing, of course, with Forsten Smith. Third in the Constructors, 74 points. It's all to play for, ladies and gentlemen. As he even shows us some Irish drifting. Never forget your Tokyo, that's Irish. That's what that's all about, as he's coming up on Cops. The Skyliner screaming as it's coming up into the foggy S's. Nice line by Emo Guy, currently sitting on 132, 6 seconds behind, so I don't think he's managed to get off the lap in yet. That's quite a considerable distance. Those 2 seconds behind probably put a representative time in, but I reckon from P13 downwards, they're all time to improve. Dimowski promoted from Tier 2. This is living proof that the junior categories work. To crop pick the talent from that, and this week filling in for Andy, and hopefully be a permanent elite driver. Tim, of course, our German driver, is new to the elite tier pro system, comes highly praised and highly sponsored, so it'll be one to watch out tonight. I expect him to be towards the front as he sits in P4, coming into the pit. 1 minute left of this qualifying session. Has anything surprised you so far, Bowie? Your man Forsten there, your prediction sitting in second, 3 tenths off. There's a lot of time to make up, but yeah, anything to add, Bowie?
Well, I gotta say, it's been a great lap from Ayrton Stefano. I mean, we know that he's quite fast, but to be in P1 right now, I'm almost 4 tenths in front of Thorsten. It's just insane.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
It's a lot bigger gaps than last week, so it just shows that even though it's a shorter circuit, the gaps are bigger than ever. But still, everybody, there's a few gaps, but within those gaps, there's again 4 or 5 people within a few tenths. So that shows that how close everybody still is within the guys before them or behind them. So
I think it's competitive.
Expect a lot of battles.
Yeah, it's competitive no matter where you are in the field, and the lap deltas are definitely representative of what we're about to see before us in the sprint race. So a little heads up on how we do things here. We're off for a sprint race. It's a 15-minute sprint race. The lads will do so many laps, and afterwards what we'll do is we'll reverse the standings, double the laps, come at you with a feature race where all the fast guys from the sprint will be towards the back. The guys that struggled a little bit, or maybe at the run of the green, maybe not, and they'll be all towards the front. But we do have performance impacting damage on. This isn't a game. The lads out there giving it absolutely everything. Of course, tonight is brought to you by Taylor Logistics, our sponsor for Season 1. And tonight the charity we're trying to put a bit of light on is the American Word that Mind UK is doing. We will go into a little bit more into detail about that, but at the minute it looks like Ayrton Stefano has put in a masterclass. Forsten did manage to pull a little bit of time in the end, but then a little chunk back. Ayrton Stefano maybe looking to improve a little bit and really lay down a marker. But I mean, what I was going to say, Barry, was with the gap being the way it was, I was going to turn around and say it was purely because he's in a Mercedes-Benz, but you still need to be able to wrestle that thing around the track. It doesn't matter that it's the Merc and it's got the most power and it's the fastest in a straight line. The lad has to have talent to be able to wrestle it round like that and still have 2 attempts on a driver at Forsten Smith's caliber.
Yes, definitely, and especially when I've drove these cars a few times, it just feels like they're very, very unstable coming out of slow turns. And given it's Donnington Park, they have a lot of slow turns that you need to be very easy on the throttle of, or you will spin out. Especially with this car, that's just one thing that's very difficult to manage.
Across the line, no improvement for Ayrton Stefano, but he will maintain his first place. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, and the extra point will go to Ayrton Stefano. A quick reminder that Forsten did get the extra point last week, and we will be adding that to the tally. We'll just take a quick screenshot of the results of qualifying. Thank you for sticking with us again on YouTube. Please leave your comments. We'll get back to as many as possible. All the lads gonna have it pretty good tonight. The weather's not quite first round Fuji, with the rain bearing down on them. We've got it relatively good track temperature. It's not going to be too warm, it's not going to be too cool. This should be an interesting race. I think as long as we can keep it clean coming into Red Gates and down the Hollywood, we should be on for a firecracker. The times in qualifying would suggest that we're going to have racing throughout the field. If I could just only show you, ladies and gentlemen, the championship for both team and driver, it's so close. There's points between them all. We're looking at Ayrton Stefano on the run down into Redgate. Ubad now with a point to prove in the new and upgraded Bentley. See what him and Chris can do. Chris a little further up the order. Ubad was eventually pushed out that top 10. There's a row of cars in front of you. Performance impacting damage on, ladies and gentlemen. And tonight, again, brought to you by Taylor Logistics for all of your travel needs. And again, spotting the spotlight on Mind UK for mental health issues, please visit the website www.mind.org.uk. There's lots of helpful information, advice on there for anybody suffering with mental health issues, young and old alike. Very fast, very easy. Please get involved, even if your money's an issue and money's tight at the minute. Just spread the word on the positive things that Mind UK is doing. And again, the website there is www.mind.org.uk. Fantastic. Our GT3 drivers hopefully tonight are going to put on a show for you at home and the folks. Again, we are in Leicestershire tonight, Derby, Castle Donnington for the 2.4 Donnington GP Round 2 Motive Racing GT3 League Super Saturday. It's Ayrton to lead the way, forced behind, Delavan's creeping, we've got Tim from Tier 2 there, and we are green lights, and it looks like Ayrton broke down, Delavan got a good start. Wow! It looks like Forsten's really jumped the line. I think Ayrton's going to hold the line, he is, but Forsten's jumped him. A little further back, coming into Redgates now. Can the boys all keep it clean as we're on board with Sabano? And there's contact a little further back. It looks like Uzi Styles involved. Hopefully Olimar can get it going. The boys all 2x2 coming through the Hollywood, in through the green of curves now. Kurt Hodgson with a nightmare start coming through the Hollywood. He's sideways. Back with the action. Beartooth disease missing most of the 911 there as he comes into Hull Hairpin. Hopefully he can get it round, get it repaired and get himself out. Still some points up for grabs. See our Tier 2 driver really struggling there. The boys with their elbows out on this opening last. We see Olimar in the background there. Needs to keep it clean. Coming off the Starkey's Bridge on the Swanch Curve. Back with the action now. Diecross now. He is the last remaining member of Team Thunder Racing. He's going to have to give it everything to try and get these points tallies back up to where it was. Sorry, Speed of Light Racing, 5th in the championship. And Stefano now was in P1. Had a bit of a nightmare, was he in the upgraded Bentley go around? That was Chris. Hopefully he can get it pointed in the right direction. The cars get missing. Diecross giving Uber a little look into the corner. It looked like Ivan was coveting the line. And Uber, Chris has got going again. It's good to see. Uber struggling with the back end as the boys exit the Melbourne Hairpin up into Goddard's now. Where did Uber start? I'm sure he was P12, P13, and he's up in P6. Oh no, Uber! There was an accident in front. He absolutely destroyed the front end coming into that corner. Lost all grip, and Uber just a victim of it. We're coming down the Wheat Cross Straight now, and we're 2x2. There's an Audi looking on the inside of M. Schalk, I believe that is. We are too wide coming into Redgates now. Someone's got to give. There's an Audi all over the place in the background. We're coming through Hollywood into the crane of curves now. There's a Skyline side by side. I think he left off a little bit. Hopefully they can actually sort it out coming into the old hairpin, and I believe they did. Back at the front, they've pulled a massive gap. Forsten and Delavan, 7 seconds this trio here. So it looks like we do have a fight on for the podium spots, but the boys in the background really slowing one another up, fighting between themselves. Can Delavan keep on the back of Ayrton and Forsten? Let's have a look. Keep on board with the Ferrari now as they charge down the Starkey Straight into the Foggy S's. It looks like the Lambo and the Merc are a little quicker in the straight line, but it could just be because they're in the draft, as Forsten feels the need to go defensive coming into the Melbourne Hairpin. It's on to the brakes now. Trouble seeing Forsten there, but it does sound like he's feathered the throttle and he's tried to cut back. Ayrton's about on the right hand side, coming into Goddard. Forsten coming inside. That AMG squiggling under braking. The brakes absolutely screaming stop at Button and as he's right back up in the draft now. Forsten up the Wheatcock Straight. Will he look to go to the inside? He doesn't even think better of it. Chris now, after his accident, he's got sideways, and we're seeing that Bentley chassis in all of its glory. The cars have to go around. We have a yellow flag last corner, yellow flag last corner. It looks like Chris has got to struggle. He's coming into the pit lane chat, and hopefully he doesn't get a penalty for doing that there as we're watching it. And now all over the back of Forsten. Is Forsten struggling, or is Forsten just pacing himself at the minute? We've made it round Starkey Bridge into the Swaltz Curve now. Looks like they're dropping Delavan a little bit into McLean's. One of my favourites. Can Delavan keep with the pack so far? Ayrton, Stefano and Forsten, 129s. Mind you, if Delavan has got it, he did the same lap time, a couple of attempts slower than that, and we're watching at the minute Uzi Styles coming up into McLean's. Uzi Styles gap. Polish driver from Gorzo, 21 years old, 11th in the championship at the minute, is tied. So it's tied with Ayrton and Ollie. So, you know, all to play for, ladies and gentlemen. Points very slick at the minute. And in that, we're watching Tim, our German driver there, the promoted from Tier 2 and Uber. Big Bentley's having a rough old time of it, ladies and gentlemen. We're expecting great things from them with their new chassis. Hopefully, the boys can get it sorted for the feature race. Back with Uzi Styles chasing down our Irish driver from Tiffany now. It's been crazy so far. There are gaps throughout the field. Now, look at, he needs to turn that traction control up. He's really struggling to put the power down there in the Lambo, and it looks like Uzi Styles on the inside of him now. Did they get it stopped coming into Goddard's? They do. Good move by Uzi Styles as he moves up into P6. Good point to go into position, but the Lambo looks like he's poisoned himself to have a go back into Redgate. Says we're on board with M-Sharp. Chasing down, is that Kirk in front of him? It is indeed. Kirk had a nightmare of a first lap. Not sure if it was entirely Kirk's fault or he was caught up in some of the craziness going on now. But our British driver, 22-year-old, 6th in the championship, 39 points, tied with you at the minute. You're in a little bit further up at the field, but not by much, as Chris seems to have got that Bentley tamed. It looks like an absolute animal, a monster. Maybe gone the wrong way with the chassis upgrades, so watch it there, and now he's given Forsten a look. It's going to be difficult to pass into the 4KSs. And another difficult one if you're on the curb, it likes to throw you off. It looks like Ed is struggling in the draft of that Lamborghini for downforce. Just in the background there, cracking shot. Yeah, I think it was Diacross, it was indeed. In the remaining 911. I say remaining 911. Bear 250 is still going again. And they will pick up points for every position, as long as they get to the end, or 75% race distance done. We are lap 4. 9 minutes to go, 5 minutes down. Lap speeds at the minute, 28s by the leaders, 29s by the mid-pack. 30 everywhere else, and Ollie Marr looks like he's having a Marr at the minute. Tim, an exciting prospect from Tier 2, all over the back of you, and needs to be careful because that Irish driver is struggling with the back end of that Lamborghini, so maybe he needs to poise himself. He needs to get a look on the inside. Does he get a reaction from you? And I don't think he does. Just having a sniff there, seeing if he could get a move out of him, maybe pull him off his line a little bit. You would feel that he needs to go a little defensive to try and break the draft. You don't know what sort of damage turns you're running with, and if you can see the car is pulling to the left, so Tim, our German driver, he's not got the full horsepower there from the Ferrari. It's very damaged as we're on board and coming down the Hollywood exit into the crane of curves. Fantastic shot, Barry, fantastic shot into the old hairpin now. Chasing down that Lamborghini. Of course, Tim struggling a little bit. Performance impacting means his car is down on horsepower. Struggling a little bit straight line speed, but in the draft of that Lambo, Tim Norsky is more than a match for you. And will our Irish driver crack under the pressure? This is a battle for 8th at the minute in our first race of the night, the sprint at Donnington GP. We're watching Kurt struggle again. He's going to have to get something sorted for the feature, definitely. Does need to be careful rejoining on the track. Good to see he's waited for a clean space to come out. We need the respect from the drivers on track, and we're definitely getting that. Dimorsky, little look with you in there again, having a sniff. He's definitely quicker at this point, but the Irish driver is holding his own on stream in the minute. More than a match. Of course, Ewan had a great outing with 4th in the feature, I believe. So at the minute, Ewan got very sideways, trying to put the power down again. Maybe has to drop it into 2nd or something, see if he can get that pulled round properly. But our Lamborghini driver of the broad shot sim racing, very struggling coming into Goddard's. On board with Forsten Smith. And Ayrton Savas, he's took a little step back, it looks like. A little bit of breathing room for Forsten to maybe compose himself. But this is no mystery to Forsten being out in this position right now on track. He's used to being here, he's quite comfortable here. He won't be scared into making a mistake. However, this is sim racing and this is the best of them. We are on the edge of adhesion and skill. These boys are pushing the car to the very edge. Accidents will happen. It doesn't matter if you're first or last. Everybody's susceptible to mistakes. So, can Forsten hold his own currently with a 2nd gap to Ayrton Savast in the background? Of course, Ayrton Savast and Savast, father and son team, the Savast racing team family from Argentina. It's a great story with great squad goals, having your son there on the sim rig. Kurt now rejoins the race, if you will. Struggles into... Where was he there? He's in the clean chap. Struggles coming up there. I think he's struggling much like where he is at the minute with view, and I think both of the number 9 and number 10 at the minute are struggling to put the power down. However, 6 minutes to go. Forston still with that second gap of the lap deltas telling it's 1:19, so we'll have to react back again. Through the foggy S's, we've got penalties there. That's why Crispy and the Bentley, a 50-second penalty, someone in the pit lane, and Sebastivano with a second. However, Sebastivano has got over 8 seconds to Tim behind, so that shouldn't be an issue with 5 minutes to go. The boys keeping it in the right direction. At the minute, it's Team Borchsport. Sim Racing P1. Oh, as his teammate Ewan in the green Lamborghini in front gets very sideways. Kurt very aware on track. It's good to see from our British driver there that he was more than aware. They didn't want any more damage on the front end of that endurance Audi coming into Redgate now. Good to see Kurt out on track. Looking forward to this one as Ewan again gets sideways. Is Kurt going to go around the outside? 2 trailer park Audis go around the outside, through Hollywood into the curves. Good move by Kurt there, moved up into P9. It looks like Forston's lost a bit of time. That drops him down to Ayrton by half a second as Ayrton Savano makes up his own track. Hopefully no slowdown there as he takes a whole bunch of curb and some grass. Takes a very, very wide line through the Godards, but he does make it work for him. Gets a slingshot round. It looks like who was that in the background? It'd be Uber, our Flying Dutchman, coming out the way. It's Murphy 51. Not having the greatest nights tonight. Hopefully your boy, your driver, can get it fixed for the future. Forston's managed to pull that gap back up. It's now 1.5 to Ayrton Savano as we're watching Seves Savano come round the same with the truck. Currently P7. Trying to chase down who's the Styles in front of him. It's doable with 4 minutes to go. Currently, lap times again, 1:28 from the leaders, mid 1:30s for the chasing pack. Tim definitely with a bit of damage, a 1:32. I think the 1:40 lap time from him just proves how much he's struggling. Needs to turn the traction control up. Emo guy, good to have our Scottish driver out on track tonight, our 22-year-old. Currently in the standings, tied with a lot of people looking for a strong outing to get back in the championship picture. Good to see the Skyline out on track. And Savano now 6 attempts again, so I don't know where Forston's losing the time. It may be through the lap delta of the braking zones, but he's losing a bit of time somewhere in the lap, and it probably will be the 2-stroke straights. But at the minute, stalking our German driver. But again, Forston doing a cracking job in first. Again with a point to prove after his win in the sprint race in Fuji. And then disappointment of being rammed in the feature. So having to quit out there and having watched his teammate do a good old job for the Borchsport Sim Racing team there. He managed to clinch third. Oh, is that sideways? He's round, but he got a yellow flag first corner. Where's Dalavan in all this? I think that was Ollie towards the back there. Dalavan just coming round now, so obviously Dalavan has a little bit of track in front of him to contend with when he does get there, but Forston with a hand me a lifeline, a phone a friend as we're watching Kurt go around the Lambo. Now he's managed to make the move stick, coming into the foggy S's. Can he get it stopped? A British driver there showing us just how to drive the Audi through the foggy S's now into the Melbourne hairpin. It looks like Ewan, again, we've watched him all sprint race struggle with putting that power down to the back end of the Lambo. Hopefully he gets it sorted for our future. Again, ladies and gentlemen, stick with us after this race. We've got 2 minutes to go. We will set up double the laps. It's kind of looking like a 22 lap race that we're going to have for our feature. All the fast guys, if it starts like this, Forston, Ayrton, Delavan, Dye, Yoko, Uzi Styles, will all be at the back of the grid as we do a formation lap. We'll come down the main straight and bolt it. It should be a real firecracker, but for now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have got a race going on here. As Sebastivano has caught up with Uzi Styles, and that was like a 5-second gap, so maybe he made a mistake somewhere in the lap. He's looking on the inside into the foggy S's now. Uzi Styles having a good out in here, 6. Sebastivano taking a lot of curb there, and he's lost out a little bit. The Ferrari having a real strong out in here is Kasper, our Polish driver from Gorso. 21-year-old, a wise all dead on him as Ayrton Savano deals with the traffic, gets around there. He has Alumar in front of him. Dalavan now in front, so Dalavan has made the switch. We missed it on track. Hopefully it wasn't anything to do with traffic, as it looks like Ollie's going to have to come out of the way of the anywhere safe at the very least, but Ayrton Savano is being held up. Something fierce there. Savano now trying to chase down Aussie Styles. 1 minute to go, Bowie. It's been fantastic racing. We are seeing gaps throughout the field, but I'm super pumped for the feature races. If you're taking any note coming into the feature, Bowie, anything the viewers should be aware of, or you know, who's looking strong for it? Because I mean, obviously, Forston would be the man at the minute, but mistakes have been made throughout the field. Bowie?
Well, like I said, it's going to be interesting since it's a reverse grid. So, given the fact that these guys, like Sebas and Evan and Uber, and all the normally really fast guys are now more towards the back,
yeah,
they have a bigger chance of now coming around first to really battle for the win this time. But
no, yeah, I think you're right.
See how fast Dorsen and such are. They're going to have a great battle just through the field, getting back.
Absolutely. The thing I'm concerned with is that we're watching Forston consecutively put these lap times in. It looks like we've got to lap 10 here, and Ayrton Sylvester's set up, at least for the sprint, it's not lasting. You know, that AMG is going off. We're 10 laps in now. We'll be doing double the distance for the feature, but it does seem to me like Ayrton Sylvester AMG has seen better days as we're 10 laps in now, but he's still holding P3 at the minute. Dicross a further 5 seconds behind, but yeah, last lap time now. Sebastiano giving a little look there to Aussie Styles, as Styles holding his own. It's great to see our Polish driver flying up the weak cross straight into Redgate for what will be the last time tonight. It looks like Ayrton and Dalavan are very close on track. Can we just have a quick blast at that one, Darry?
Currently they are 8 seconds apart actually. Donovan's now
yeah,
coming on around
right.
here, so
it's telling me they're a second apart here, but it's yeah, the lap deltas maybe the squad there just a little bit quicker than Project Cars, but yeah, and so first he's got to be happy with a third place, I guess, after the couple of full spins here and there, but also kicking himself. You know, he was in contention for on for the win really, Wim and Forston class of the field, but the car seems to have let go a little bit coming on to lap 11, so it'll be interesting to see in the future, round lap 10 and 11, what Ayrton Stefano's car's like as Forston exits the Melbourne hairpin for the final time tonight. One last time into Goddard, and he will take back-to-back sprint races. Our first 2 sprint rounds. Forston Smith, our German driver from Berlin, takes on first place. Well done, buddy, congratulations. Well deserved the Porsche Motorsport team. And Stefano is going to chase Dalavan down to the lights, but our Italian driver there doing a fantastic job.
in the meantime we still have a battle going on for 5th position actually. Yumko and Ozostel right back each other. So is Ozostel going to try and put it on the outside or on the inside? He's going to go for the saber cut this time.
Do you know, Barry, yeah, it was good you were on that, mate. I kind of missed that one, and it looks like he's tried to part the bus a little bit, and it's definitely a fight-up fight, but yeah, well raced to the pair of them. Aussie Styles with a very mature head on his shoulders there. He could have slung it up the inside there, but it would have been a half-assed attempt. Stefano will bring it home in P7, but Tim's right behind. He does have a... Oh, no, fair enough. He's not right behind. The lap delta's been a little crazy. He had a second penalty, but it's not going to matter. Tim, our promotion Tier 2 driver tonight, very impressive. Midfield, but he obviously had a lot of damage on the car. Now Chris is going to be disappointed. Him and Uber. New chassis on the Bentley, remember. New bits and bats. He comes it home. Top 10 position, though. P9. Kurt. We've been watching him struggle, especially through McLean's and Cops tonight. He did have an accident on Redgate. Hopefully that's not too much of a driver issue there, but hopefully he can get it sorted for our feature race as he comes around Goddard for the last time in our sprint race. Good going, Kurt. Keeping a top 10 position. Good points. Further behind, quite a big gap behind as well. Over 20 seconds behind is Everett there. See, coming around the last corner, he will finish the race just about. Struggling to put the power down. Hopefully he can get the traction control turned up to 11 for the feature race. Stick with us on the YouTube channel as we get the feature race set up. Double the laps, reverse sprint race, coming at you live in 5. Well done, Forston Smith. Again, back-to-back victories. Both sprints he's taken now. Dalavan again impressing, and we're going to have a look in the feature race, see what his car's like sort of midway, see if he's made any tweaks to setup. But there's a few guys tonight that definitely turn that traction control up, maybe track temperature catching him out just a little bit. But stick with us on the YouTube channel as we give the boys 5 minutes just to get the nicotine levels up, get the drink sorted, and we will coming back at you for our feature. Thank you very much. Okay, we get back to the boys and we'll get this sorted. Well done, lads. First, it looked like a bit of a nightmare. The first couple of corners. Sorry, boys. It did look a bit like a lot. Some of you got caught up a little bit and whatnot. But right. Yeah. I'll have a look into it, buddy. But what I need from you all now is so you all know what we're doing with the rolling start. We do a formation lap, a manual formation lap. I will call you out one by one in the position you're in. Then, on the last corner, you will form up 2 by 2. First and second, third and fourth, fifth and sixth. I will call it out, don't worry about it. But for now, get your drinks refilled, get your nicotine levels up, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, boys. Sorry to interrupt, boys. I'm still on my little cig break. Just be wary that we are on the stream or whatever, so just be mindful, I guess. Cheers.
The fear of losing is far greater than the fear of being hurt, and that means you've very much got to weigh up your opponents to see where they are, and you're wheel to wheel with these guys. If they're in a strong situation, their car is running well, and you're both in a good position, at that point it's like playing high-speed poker. All you can do is try and gauge the profile of your opponent right, and hope that you've hope you come out in front of him.
2-minute warning. 2-minute warning.
About 30 seconds till we go. Let's go. Get ready. First gear.
Okay guys, 1 minute warning. Thank you for sticking with us on the YouTube channel. 1 minute warning to all our drivers to get sorted, and we will be getting underway. Before we get started though, while I've got everyone's eyes and ears in the lobby, P1 is going to be Emo Guy. You are going to start P1, so when we get green lighted, you're going to pull away first. Then Olimar is going to follow you, Ubar is going to follow Ollie. Beartooth Disease, you're going to follow Ubar. M-Shalk, you're going to follow Beartooth Disease. Chris UK, follow M-Shalk. Evan, follow Chris. Kurt, you are going to follow Evan. And Tim, you are going to follow Kurt. Stefano, you are going to follow Tim. Okay, Uzi Style, you are going to follow Savano. Yomko, you are going to follow Uzi Style. Diecross, you're going to follow Yomko. Ant Stefano, you're going to follow Diecross. Dalavan, you're going to follow Ant Stefano. And Forston, you're going to be heading up the back. So we will, once we get green lighted, I will shout you away again, one by one. But for now, please be aware, we're not going when we get green lighted. You stay in your grid spots and I will call you away. A heads up, Emo Guy, Ollie, Ubar, Beartooth, you'll all be getting called first. So if you can, guys, pull off to a side. If you're on the left, pull to the left. If you're on the right, pull to the right. But watch out for the cars in front of you. Performance impacting damage is still on the formation lap. So once again, I'll call you away. I'm going to give you 1 minute and we're going to get going. Thank you again for joining us on the YouTube channel. We'll get back to as many comments as possible for our final GT3 race at Donnington. 1 minute warning. I need a thumbs up too, but 1 minute warning, 1 minute warning. Okay, GT3, if we can get a thumbs up, please. Yep. At the start, please don't put your foot down. Move off to each side of the road, whichever side you're on, and I will call you all out one by one. Then it is up to Emo Guy. I have posted in the Discord where you're meant to all form up. Second to last corner, you'll all form up. On the start finish, Ollie will wait until he gets to the pit lane. Now, when Ollie wants to go, it's between the pit lane and the start finish line. So anywhere between there, Ollie can go. He can't fake. He can't do any of that. Oh shit! Sorry, it's Emo. It's Emo. So yeah, but you and Emo are gonna dictate what goes on behind you. Believe me, you dictate a lot more of what goes on and how spread out people get and the rest of the stuff. So you and Emo have a lot on. Go on. Yep. Okay. 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 So. Okay. Yeah. Savannah is, well, hang on a minute, he will be... Yeah, hang on a minute. Right, P1, Emo. P2, Ollie. P3, Uber. P4, Beartooth Disease. P5, M-Shout. P6, Chris. P7, Evan. P8, Kurt. P9, Tim. P10, Savano. Okay, P11, Uzi Style. Yokum. P12, Diecross. P13, Ayrton Savannah. P14, Dalavan. P15, Forston. P16. Everyone cool? Everyone alright? Again, I'll shout it out. Go on, sorry mate. Right. I'll add the lap on. We'll do 21, but I'll add the extra. I will add an extra lap on. We'll do the 22. It's just obviously time restraints, and it's quite a long lap as it is, like going over a certain time. But anyway, boys, with that said, and everybody on the YouTube channel, I will stick with you in the lobby until we get round towards the last corners, and then I will jump into the private party chat with Bowie and do the commentary. But for me, I will stick with you and call you all out again. So everybody ready? Everyone sorted? Okay. Stay in your grid spots, I'll call you out. Performance impacting damage is on. Yeah, just move to a side, whatever's like easiest to do. Oh, my phone takes... Yeah, there we go, we're back. Sorry again on the YouTube channel, we're just going to get the boys sorted out. You do, yeah, you do. So just pull off slightly. That's the one, yeah. Pull off slightly. If anyone gets any errors or any penalties doing this, we'll get them knocked off. So don't worry about it too much where it scores you. But anyway, I'll stick with you and we'll get going into the party chat once we have the boys all formed up. No, but everyone will be hearing me. Yeah, I'm on the, what is it? I'm not in the party chat yet. I'm still in the game chat. Yeah, I'm still in the game chat. Okay, thank you ladies and gentlemen for sticking with us on the YouTube channel for our final race of the night at Donnington GP, the Leicestershire Derby Castle Donnington. The boys will tackle this 2.4 mile long track, 21 laps. As we can see, it's bright morning, it's 5 AM. The sunrise is going to be in their eyes. We're going to have a little spectacle when it comes to the weather. Again, tonight, while the boys are sat there, we are trying to raise a bit of awareness for the amazing work that Mind UK is doing. I urge anyone, it's the time to take a minute to visit the website www.mind.org.uk, and there is lots of useful information for anyone suffering with mental health illnesses, young and old alike. It's a quick and easy process if you want to donate using card or PayPal. Various ways you can get involved with the fundraising with Mind UK. Get involved and register for your virtual fundraising pack and help spread the word. The Mind, the webpage, once again, is www.mind.org.uk. Back to the racing. We've got a reverse grid. The boys are going to stay in the grid spots. They're going to pull off just slightly so they don't get penalised, and all the fast boys from the sprint will be at the back, and the guys that finished at the back will be towards the front. So we will have a complete reverse grid while the boys get sorted on the formation lap. So we will hear the engines going off very shortly and join back with Bowie in the commentary box. Bowie, you do need to get back in the party one when we sort all this out. But yeah, for now, it's going to be, once we get away, Emo Guy will be bringing it up in P1, so he'll be setting off. So we will be seeing that Skyliner. We see just behind him, so he'll be coming up, and closely followed by Olimar, Uber, but we will shout the boys out once we're ready to go. Again, thank you for joining us for our final round of Donnington. Early morning here, the sun is coming up. The track is just going to lend itself to racing. The track is going to get faster and faster and more grip and more grip. But for now, it's early morning. The track is cool. Will it catch any of the boys out? They've got a formation lap. So boys, please just pull off ever so slightly. Do not set off into anybody. Just pull off to the sides, please. Ollie, Emo Guy, can you move forward, please? And Olimar, can you move forward? Thank you. Will Uber get behind Ollie? Thank you. Beartooth Disease behind Uber. M-Shalt behind Beartooth Disease. Thank you. Chris behind M-Shalt. Evan, can you get behind Chris? Kurt behind Evan. Tim Oski behind Kurt. Sebastopano behind Tim. Thank you. We need Sebastopano behind Uzi Style behind Sebast. Yomko. But sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to get Barry back in here in a second. Apparently my audio has decided to die on its bump, so hopefully we'll get it sorted. Dalavan 15, Forsen Smith first. Bowie, come back to the party if you can hear me, buddy. Hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, you can still hear my mic as we're about to get going. With a bit of luck, we'll be still on there. So the boys now coming around for what is the formation lap. The Bentley's looking for a better outing, that's for sure. They had a bit of a nightmare in the sprint along with Kirk, so all the lads looking to get a bit of traction control sorted for this one here. Hopefully we'll have Bowie in the party. Full grid of cars tonight, missing Andy, who's a key worker, so massive respect for him. Hopefully he can join the stream as we're watching the boys coming down Starkey straight into the Foggy S's. All the boys now sorting them out, getting the tyres warmed up. Of course, early morning, track temperature is low. Before we get started, this season is brought to you by Taylor Logistics for all your travel needs. Big thanks to them for supporting the first season here at Motive Racing. There'll be trophies for the winners of both leagues, as well as the Constructors' Championships. Pretty cool trophies as well, Barry. I don't know if you've managed to spot them, but, you know, a bit of incentive for the boys. I think not sure we've got Barry there, so unfortunately it looks, hopefully my mic is actually going and you boys can hear me. There we go, Barry. So yeah, the boys forming up now. They should be coming up to so all on the left. All the boys now forming up. Now this is a lot better to see than Fuji. It looks like Forson's managed to join the pack as well, so he is with us. We're watching Emo Guy now, our Scottish driver, the 22-year-old. Let's see what he does now. He's put his foot down, he's gone early. We are green light for the futurers here at Motive Racing, Donnington, Castle, Donnington. A little bit that looks like there's somebody backwards up the Wheatcroft straight. And Emo Guy's gone straight on too, so Emstel and Emo having a horrible turn of events. Hopefully Emo doesn't come straight back on track at Redgate and takes anyone. Nope, he doesn't, he stopped. And seeing him there, he's trying to come out the way again. So massive respect to our Scottish driver there. He made a mistake and hopefully he can get back in the race. It's far from over as we're watching Delavan, our Italian driver, who really impressed out in part of Team Pog Champs, currently first in the Constructors' Championship. So all to play for. Watching the boys come through Staggers Bridge up the 12th curve, now into McLean's great corner. Watching Ed Savano now, currently in P8, so he's climbing up the order somewhat, you could say. Last time out, and it looks like Chris's sideways again. That Bentley is proving an absolute menace once again. The Bentley boys proving that chassis doesn't seem to be working very well for him, at least at the minute. It looks like they found themselves some new sponsorship though, as the boys in the background force just getting round it into the Foggy S's. Sound like somebody went round there. We are in early morning here in lovely Derby, Castle Donnington. Lovely Angel Delight sky in the background, it's a real spectacle. Ed Savano now into the Melbourne hairpin. Currently sitting P6, he's made his way up, him and Forsten, P9 at the minute. Delavan also sticking with them. The class of the field from the sprint had loads of pace. Delavan fell off a little bit, but did come back in the end to take second. So, all to play for us. Ollie Marr pulls a 1.5 second gap. The left-hand men, with Andy off at the minute, forcing into the pit. Must be big grin on his face as he's watching the YouTube stream. His man out in front, lap 3, say 131s. Nobody living with that at the minute. Kurt now through what looked to be the Hollywood into the crater curves. He took a lot of curves there. Looks like that Audi's reacting bad over the bumps. As Dicos gets very sideways coming into the old urban. Very committed as Spas goes very wide. He will pick up a slowdown from that. Is Dicos going to try it around the outside? Looks like he is, you know. It looks like he's trying to hang it there. Onto the brakes. Spas just a little later. And it's Kirk sideways again. We were seeing that going. Is he going to go round it? Oh, the boys just trying to avoid one another. Looks like Dicos looks for in action. We are too wide coming up into Cops now. Something's got to give. Sebastian Savano hung out to dry by the 911 there, but Kurt definitely struggling there. The smoke coming out that back end of the Audi. That is not what we want to see from the 22-year-old driver. Team Pog Champs coming down the list. And Savano now late onto the brakes. Does he manage to get it round? Jesus, that was the last of the late breakers into the Foggy S's, coming up into the Melbourne hairpin. And it looks like Ollie's still maintained that 1.5 second gap. Chris now has got that Bentley going. I'm willing the British car there to have a good performance. The boys are putting loads of testing over the week. There's been plenty of media out here trying to get a couple of sneak peeks at the new setup for that Bentley, but it's been with a massive cover on all week. So this is the first time we've really seen it out in anger, and it looks like Chris and is it in front there coming into the pit? So it is Ensfano. Sebast, the boys keeping two wheels outside of the pit lane. That is good to see them respected. It's Sebastiano, it's round. Is he going to catch it? He did. He's definitely running the harder tyres. He did lost that with the softs, but he loses a position there. Kurt, Chris, all in the pit lane. Dicross now. The 911 versus Ferrari. Ozzy Styles holding a great position at the minute. Looks a little slower than Dicross coming through the Swalch curve into McLean's now. Nowhere for the 911 to go. Uzi Style onto the brakes. Again, nowhere to 911 to go. There's a Bentley struggling in front. As the boys are coming up on it, that's Uber P2, a Flying Dutchman. Smurfy 51 at the minute, your man P2, but he looks like he's struggling with the power of the Bentley at the minute. Dicos with a great line on the inside there, but he's going to be hung out to dry. He hasn't got the inside for the Foggy S's. It's Ferrari versus 911. Dicos thinks better of it. A very mature head for a 15-year-old driver there. Thinks better of it, pulls back into draft, lives to fight another day. We're only 4 laps into this 22. Beautiful sunrise here at Donnington. Derby, Dicos out of the draft. Hell of a move. Great to see that Ferrari check itself. Definitely corrected the steer and see him coming. Fantastic. Dicos covering the line a little bit. Doesn't want to dive back. He's really aggressive going for it. He's got Uber on the inside. Hopefully there were no touch there. Uber struggling to get the power down again. Hopefully once that sun starts to come up, which indeed it is, we are too wide going down red gates. Into red gates. What's going to give Uber onto the brakes? There's contact with the Ferraris. All the boys have got performance impacting on. We're 4 laps in. Someone's got to give. The boys need to behave themselves. The Bentley is being harassed. And we're watching Esteban do his best Colin McRae impression. Great to not pick up any of the board. Uber now looking on the inside of that Ferrari. Was a bit of a victim into Goddard's. That Bentley proving to be a little bit of an handful, but even more of a handful when you've got a Ferrari tapping the back end. But Uber still pointing in the right direction. Still P5. Tim Lusky now. Who's he chasing down there? It's MS Schalk. It looks like Tim Lusky had to get onto the brakes. Really weird braking zone by the car in front, and he's got Fortune Smith coming on the outside. Good to see Tim being very aware of the German driver there. Where is Fortune at the minute? Currently P9 has taken his pit stop on board with our Italian driver David now. From
also,
the
I have to point out that both Thorsten and Ayrton have made their pit stops, but Thorsten is up in P9 and Ayrton is down in P12.
Yeah, he got caught up there in the first corner incident through Redgate and Hollywood, a bunch of cars together, about 4 or 5, and here comes the sun in the eyes. This should throw up another element. You can see the sun now beaming off the cars. Fantastic visuals here at Donnington as we're watching Delavan. Of course, was at the back of the grid. P4 at the minute. I don't think he's had his pit stop if you're looking on the lap deltas. Thorsten, probably the highest of the guys at the pit. Was trying to find out during the week how much the average time lost in the pit lane was, but I couldn't nail that one down. Again, Castle Donnington, this track opened first in 1931, first motorsports race that took place there. It was then acquisition by the military to be used during the war as airfields. Then reacquisition in 1977, reopened, lap record here held by the man, the myth, the legend that is Ayrton Senna, 1993, a 1 minute 18. We're a little further off a 1 minute 18, only about 10 seconds or so, but yeah, I don't think we're going to get too near that tonight. Olimar now, doing a cracking job for the left-hand man, it must be said. The Skyliner with Emo in front of him struggling a little bit, but it's great to see him still out on track, still giving it his all. Still a lot to play for. Doesn't matter whether you're first or 16th, there are points throughout the grid. And just in the background there, it looks like there's 2 Ferraris. Uzi Styles and is that Delavan in front? It is indeed. So Uzi Styles really found some pace in this second round of the GT3 League. Fantastic to see him really trying to give us a show as Kasper, a Polish driver. 21-year-old. Let's see if we can make any inroads on Delavan. Currently with a bit of a penalty there from the race directors. Chris Big pointing in the right direction again. Currently P13 with a penalty. Emschel just outside of a top 10 position is Emschel, and just in front of him the whole bunch of cars. There's a Lambo going pretty slowly in the background there. That's Evan there with a Bentley showing him whichever way in style. Evan very aware of it. Good to see the boys out on track, respecting one another. Now a little bit of news with the standings. Team Championship at the minute. First feed is Pog Champs with Delavan and Kurt Hodgson, 96 points. Currently second, left-handed men, 85 points. Andrews, Noddy and Olimar. Borchardt, Spin Racing, P3 with 74 points. The final race team, the Tam family racing team that is Ayrton and Sabat. 4th place, only 4th place behind 3rd, so it is all still to play for. The Speed of Light Motorsports, Dicross and Bear Tooth Disease, 50 points. The Dole Punch Racing Team, Ozu Styles and M-Sharp, 40 points. Team Thunder Racing, 39 points. Only a couple of points behind is Uber and Crispy in the upgraded chassis. Uber currently sitting in a top 10 position. It'll be fantastic to see that Bentley get a result after the work the boys have put in this week. seen within the Discord that the boys have been testing, and to good effect. It's been fantastic to see the lads communicate with one and each other with decency and respect within the Discord channel. GT3, very laxed league. All the members willing to help one another out, and you yourself sat at home are welcome to come and join the Motor Racing Discord. There is a link in the description. It is 100% free. We are on YouTube and Twitch. You know, we've got the Clio Cups, the GT5s, the GTEs, the USA Series, LMP2. There is something for everybody. It's 100% free, always will be. Come and get involved. Fortune Smith currently on the back end of Yonko, our Russian driver, feeling the heat a little bit. How long can he keep that position for? At the minute, last time around, Fortune Smith a full 3 seconds quicker than the Lamborghini in front, so Fortune probably not want to get held up too much by the car in front, but that's no disrespect to Yonko, because he's putting in relatively quick lap times as Olimar has now found himself under attack a little bit. He's gone from first, he's going down the order now, and the tyres letting up as the track temperature comes up. That is Dykos and Dalavan out in front. Our top three separated by 7/10 of a second. Motive Racing, GT3 Racing at its best. Olimar fully sideways round Cops there. Sebastiano trying his best to harass the Ferrari in front of him, and they touch a little bit coming into the foggy S's. I think the Ferrari there had to give the boys a really been hard out on that. That was some hard racing by the guys there. Hopefully they can respect one another and give each other the room to race, because that's what we want to see from Sebastian and Aussie Styles. Aussie Styles having a fantastic race. I will say again, from our Polish driver from Gorzo, having an absolute firecracker at Donnington. It's seeming to suit him, the cooler temperatures, giving the AMG a look. Does he make a mistake out of him? He certainly does. Aussie, he's going up the inside of him. He pulls the mistake. The AMG gets itself out of trouble with all that talk, but Aussie Styles now showing him lead, side coming up to the cross straight. That AMG just pulls out enough of a gap through Redgate where it's not too much of an issue, but Aussie Styles absolutely stalking Sebastiano now. The Ferrari running well here in Derby. It's a 2.4 mile long track. It's the stablemate of British Motorsport, this and Brands Hatch, along with Silverstone, probably the most recognisable racetracks in the UK. While we have our championship running throughout every Saturday for the next 5 weeks, we will try and put some good light on charities, some good causes, any positivity we can spread while we are here enjoying ourselves sim racing. We may as well do it. It's for the greater good, and I urge you all to get involved with the charity that we are trying to shed some light on tonight, which is Mind UK. It is helping people with mental health issues, young and old alike. The website again, www.org.uk. Dalavan now P2, chasing down Dicross. Looks quite happy to sit there in P2. Definitely quicker, full second last time around, so maybe just biding his time a little bit. We're just coming up on half race distance. If we take a look at the lap tables, ladies and gentlemen, wow, Crispy with a 15-second penalty, and we've got it set up. If he gets another one, I'm not sure what it's going to do with the timings, although we did see a 50 earlier. But on the lap deltas from P8 onwards, I think they've all pitted. In fact, Forston's made big inroads. He's 15 seconds behind, and the pit stop's definitely longer than 15 seconds. So, at the minute, all the standings are a little jumbled up while the boys are still yet to take their pit stop. Currently, lap 10 out of lap 22, and it really has been one for the books so far. We've got Uzi Styles really impressing P5. Ollie still in this with a horse there for the left-handed men P3. 2 seconds is Sebastiano though. Can he pull the gap at the minute? Dalavan checking out the back end of that 911. Stalking him, if you will. Fantastic as we've seen him come through Cops there. Of course, Dicross, our 15-year-old driver, currently 4th in the championships. Only a point behind Sebastiano, so, you know, Dicross finished in front of him. He's going to move up the order. Currently, P1 is a proven driver with a raging Italian behind him, biting at the bit. Ollie's still holding his own. Sebastian pulled about a second that lap. Last time around it was 2, it's now down to 1. Hopefully Uzi Styles can hang on the back of it. Forced now making real inroads, down to 15 seconds. Another lap last time around, 1:28.6. Not sure there's anyone else living with that at the minute. Dalavan, he is in the draft, remember though, but still 1:28. Credit where credit is due. Coming through for lap 11 now, down the Weekworth straight. Of course, thank you for sticking with us on the YouTube channel for Motive Racing. Respect everybody that tunes in and takes the time to come and watch the boys out on track tonight. Full field of cars, fantastic to see. Motive Racing is recruiting. If you are on the PlayStation 4 network, it is 100% free, racing throughout the week. Time zone's been not a problem. We have Beartooth out on track tonight, who is American, Central America I think it was, yeah. So time done, there's a lot of guys from all over the place. We represent a lot of countries here at Motive Racing, 100% free to get involved with. You know, GT3 is not your thing, then the LMP2, the USA Series, the GT, GT5 and the Clio Cup should quench your thirst amongst other special events we're doing. Dalavan still holding on to the back of Diecross. Anything sticking out for you at this point, Maui?
There's nothing I can say about just amazing battles going on. There's nothing more that just happens. It's incredible battles, all clean, but just a little bit of door banging to get the guy ahead, a little bit of out of order. Try and sneak past, all clean but tough battling.
Absolutely.
It just shows how good these guys are out on track.
It really does lend itself. Once the boys start giving it the room, we've got a flash of a light from Diecross there, so that indicates that he will be coming in the pit lane this time around. I think he's trying to give Dalavan a little bit of a warning that he's going to be pulling left here. Professional driving by the 15-year-old Peruvian driver. That releases Dalavan into some clean air. 129 last time around. Can he go any quicker? Now he's got clean air. Sebastian Savano in the background, however, just about see Dalavan as he enters red gate now. So, 129 from Dalavan last time around. Let's see what his lap time's like as Crispy pulls out the draft. Lambo in there. He needed to be a little more aware to Jomco and give the room. Chris, in the end, making the move stick. It's a shame the Lambo didn't give him the room, but he's on the outside now, Jomco. He hasn't given up. He's trying to get the cut back here, but looks to have got a bit of a slide on with it. He's coming into the pit. That would explain it then, so Jomco into the pit. Russian driver. Fantastic to see him out on track tonight. A little bit inactive for the Discord, so wasn't sure if he was going to make it. I was watching Ewan now on the back end of Beartooth Disease, who is JSUC Racing, through the foggy S's, and the 911 gets it wrong, but Evan thought, I'll have a go at that, see if I can mess it up even better. So both the boys synchronising the foggy S's, making up their own bit of track, and all the while these lads are having their own M-Shout, they're in the Ferrari. Creeping up is our driver from Holland in the Netherlands. Tied in the standings with Uber, of course, so all these boys really out with a point to prove. And ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter if you're in first or second. If by the end of the season you are not in them top 10 spots, you are relegated to Tier 2. And a massive shout out to the Tier 2 boys for last week, managing to get their feature race underway with no issues or problems. It looked very fun out on track. Big shout out to the guys that made that happen too. You know you are. As we're watching now, it looks like he's managed to, add a bit of traction control to his Lamborghini. Look, big handful. It takes a lot of curb coming through the old hairpin, but you know, it works for him. Currently though, down around 129, a bit lower. I think it was about 4/10 quicker that last time around. It's a fast now. P7 at the minute. A very quick time. What's that in front? The Standard Skyline. Emo going round again. Hopefully Emo can keep it going on track. Our Scottish driver there just trying to dial in that Skyline over the season. It's fantastic to see him still out on track and still driving with us as our Scottish driver there, 22-year-old. Was looking for a strong outing, but any laps done in the Skyline now will be testing worth doing. As Rombo, Rivert and Stefano, who's chasing down Diecross in front of them. It is Team PogChamps, Team Speed Alike, 5th in the championship at the minute. And guess who they are behind by 4 points? The car behind it and Stefano. So these boys in a Constructors' Championship fight, all of their own. Points separate them in the standings, so it will matter where these boys finish. They need to keep it clean and respectful, but these boys not only fighting for position, but fighting for the Constructors' Trophy within the teams themselves. Of course, Ayrton and Sebast, father and son team from Argentina. Fantastic to see them join us also. As much of a time difference zone as Beartooth to see, so massive commitment from their family in Beartooth, and I just want to extend my gratitude and thanks for them for joining us on Saturday. Of course, tonight is brought to you by Taylor Logistics for all your travel needs. Thank you for supporting Season 1 and sponsoring it for the boys to win trophies. and a little bit more incentives. And Savannah, last time around, the 128.9, he's definitely got the pace. I think Dycroft's a little bit slowing him up, but he's definitely got a bit more pace, but he's got to find a way around that 911, and it's proving difficult. Once you're in the draft, you are losing the downforce a little bit wide for the old hairpin, so I think he's going to look to try and pressure Dycroft a little bit, see if he can get a mistake out of him. But I've been so impressed with our 15-year-old Peruvian driver, sporting a very mature head on it. I've said it from the start, it's very impressive to see how mature he is for his age behind the wheel of a car, and tonight all 16 of our GT3 drivers want to express our biggest thanks to the charity and the work the Mind UK is doing for people within the UK for mental health issues. If we every week can shed a bit of light on some good causes, then from all the GT3 community we'll do something positive out of this. While we're all fit and healthy, it is our duty to do so and look after our fellow man. So please go and visit the website www.mind.org.uk and register for your virtual fundraising pack and help spread the word. Back to the racing. Kurt struggled in the sprint, really struggled with the traction off the Audi, much like the Bentleys. Currently at the minute though, Uber P11, Chris P8, so Bentley's having a bit of a nicer outing. I think track temperature now coming up, it's probably going to be at its best now. Cars will be as grippy as they have been for the last two races, so the boys really able to stretch the legs. M. Schalk, currently P14. What's the style though? I've said it from the start, he's setting 131s, he's got a good gap to Dycross behind. There is still 7 laps of this race, Forster now, 11 seconds to the lap leader, Dalavan, who I don't think has pitted, so it's all to play for. But I think Forster and Bowie probably net lead at the minute.
Yeah, I think for now you definitely should have the lead. I mean, in 12 seconds you will not be able to get into the pits, have a pit stop, and go back on track again, so I do think he has the virtual lead over everybody else now.
Yeah, for our viewers at home, I know on the lap deltas on the left-hand side, it doesn't say that Forster is indeed in 4th place, but the guys in front have not taken their mandatory pit stop, for the feature race. So, average pit time loss is usually between 20 and 30 seconds, so Forster, who has taken his pit stop, is well in the lead. Not sure if there's a style behind him, has taken his pit stop. That time we took a look at the lap time. So he'd have to pull out on Forster. He's watching all going to the pit. Left-handed men teammate there taking his pit stop. Andy will be watching closely on the live stream at his teammate, seeing what points they pick up tonight. But of course, Andy, the motive racing boss, so also a key worker as well. So he divides his time between the two, and tonight he is at work. So if you're watching, Andy, massive respect from all the GT3 motive racing community for all that you do, as well as all the first sponsors across the UK as we go through this difficult time. Forster Smith, last time around he was setting 129s, 128, and it looks like Dalavan had gone into the pit now, so just Stefano in front. And Stefano, mind you, a 128.5, and he's still all over the back end of that 911, finding it difficult. He's going to try and pressure him into a mistake, but the thought straight up that the AMG would have the straight line, really onto the back of him. You can see Stefano trying to set that 911 up. He needs to be on the back end of that bumper to try and get him down the end of the straight. It's difficult to make a pass into the foggy S's, so it'll have to be onto the brakes, either to Melbourne, Hairpin or Goddard. We'll stick with the fighting now. This is over P5, and these boys again separated by 1 point. The kick of oversteer there, Stefano got there. Great save. Little simplicity is that you don't while you're watching, but believe me, that would have felt something rotten on the steering wheel there as it pulled from the left to the right. But good catch, good save. Both still pointing in the right direction. Wide line by Stefano, but again makes it work for him. Gets pulled back in, really nice. Good exit there. Does he have anything for the 911 down the weak cross straight? It looks like it's just a little bit too far. Both the boys keeping 2 wheels outside. And Stefano pushing the laws there, but just about. It does seem like Stefano's got the run of the 911, especially into turn 1 through turn 2, 3 for the crane of curves, into the hold hairpin. But everywhere else, the 911 is more than a match for it. The Speed-O-Like Motorsport guys, Dycross P4 at the minute, doing a great job, and it looks like Stefano's got a hell of a run out there into Stark's Brutus Walter Curve. He's on the outside, he's going to try and make the words into McLean's, onto the brakes. Looks like he's had to just pull in behind there, he did. maybe a little bit of time lost there while trying to set the move up. So set, rinse, repeat. Zavano with more work to do to try and pull up onto the back end of so we're watching Chris now on the back end of Olimar, the left-handed man versus the Team Thunder Racing. Chris currently P7, chasing down P6. Both of these boys struggle with the car setup today, but Chris with a mare in the sprint, along with Uber, obviously Team Thunder Racing. They've had chassis upgrade to the Bentley this week. It's all been very top secret testing, media all over Donnington trying to get pictures of the thing. Really disappointing outing in the sprint race, but coming back strong. P7 in a minute, chasing down our French driver Olimar, who is missing his teammate today, and the SC who we had just said is a key worker, so we express our thanks to Andy. And Stefano now, you can see him, he's getting aggravated being in behind that 911 now. He's showing him the inside. Dicross again with a very mature head on him. He's going to stick that 911 where it's so difficult. There you go, covered the inside. There was no chance he could have made the moves there. I'm so impressed with this young man as we're watching. Oh, he broke out trying to come out of the way. He's on the inside. This is a repeat of the last lap here. Onto the bumpy. He's going to make the move, stick into cops, onto the brakes. Side by side, they're both side by side. Managing to keep it off each other. Looks like Dicross just had to concede there. And Stefano with a very mature move there. He made that happen. That was set up all the way from Starkey's Bridge from the Swaltz curve. So fantastic job. Can Dicross keep moving? Can Dicross come back? He's certainly looking like he wants that position back. For the time being, the Savannah race team, fantastic job. P4, P5, Dicross. Just in the background there, we can see Emo Guy having a bit of a torrid time in the Skyliner, but huge respect to our Scottish driver for carrying on going there. Obviously doing this for a great cause tonight, which is the Mind.UK. We've had a bit of a spin there, a bit of a touch coming into the foggy S's. Will Chris manage to get it going again? Can Kurt see him? Hopefully the boys do. It's a bit of a touchy place. And Chris waits. Fantastic by our Polish driver there to have the mindset of the cars around him there. Not a great asset to come into Starkey's and foggy S's and be silenced, but had the mind there to be wary of other cars around him. So unlucky Chris, but very wise head on you for being very aware there. Fantastic job, buddy. I hope we can keep going. And still in a top 10 position is Team Thunder Racing in the Bentleys. Uber, P11, can he get back up, you know? He's only top 7 seconds outside of that with Tim, who's a very quick driver from Tier 2, promoted tonight with the lack of grid spaces on with drivers, not being able to attend, having a fantastic outing. Top 10 would be fantastic for him to finish there. We're on lap 19, ladies and gentlemen, 22 laps. Chris now through the crane of curves into the old hairpin. Beautiful line by the Bentley there through that corner. Currently P9, top 10 position. Is sticking with style. Forston now. Look at that. You can see Sebastian in front of him. Forston now with traffic there. I'm not sure who that is. In the Lamborghini. It is. It's Yomko. So Yomko will need to come out of the way up this straight, buddy. Thank you very much. Does look like he's trying to pull out the way there. Professional driving by a Russian driver. Fantastic to see that out on track. Doesn't want to get involved in the fight up at front. Still, we'll express our thanks to the Russian driver, 22-year-old is Thomas. Likes the GTE class cars and is looking forward to racing in our league. Well, with a mindset like that, being aware, you are always racing. Forza now, full cylinders, flat out, pedal to the metal. Sebastian in front of him. He has his target. He is on form at the minute. 1:28 last time around, 2 seconds quicker than the AMG in front. We did see last time out though, Stefano coming up on lap 10, which is double the distance, well, less than double the distance of this. He was struggling with the setup. The tyres seemed to let go. He was struggling with understeer coming into the corners. Forston seems to be making up time over the AMG. Hand over fist, and good to see in the background. Yoko obviously not got a boat in this race. However, does look like when he does have the pace, he can stick with the fastest of them. So that's got to be encouraging to see from our 22-year-old Russian driver as Forston absolutely nails the foggy S's. Coming into Melbourne, them headlights are turned on now, and you can bet your bottom dollar that Sebastian knows his hair. In fact, maybe that little flick of the headlights there had Sebastiano's attention as he comes into Melbourne. Messes the braking up and manages to pull it back round. very wide again, but does pull it back. Forster needs to be aware of that, coming in tight onto Goddard. Now, up the Wheatcroft straight. This is for the lead of this race. We're not sure if Sebastiano's pitted yet, but we are going to treat it as such. Forster on the inside. Sebast takes a wide line pulling in. Forster with a wise head there, delays the steering, wanted to see what that AMG was doing. So can we go on board with Forster as we come down the Hollywood and Craner curves into the old hairpin? Fantastic shot now. Forster Smith, German driver from Berlin, claimed double victories back to back in the sprint, chasing down. And Sebastiano in front in the AMG, heading through Zacky's Bridge for the Welch curve into McLean. The German driver from Berlin has been supreme tonight. Hasn't put a foot wrong, has not been involved in the accident, has taken his pit stop just at the right time, has put himself in a fantastic position with 1 lap to go, ladies and gentlemen, fighting for the win. It looks like the AMG is more than a match with the Lambo in a straight line. Boston plays the mind game, showing the inside there, trying to get a reaction out of Sebastiano in front, trying to see if he can pull him off his line, make a mistake, as we head out of the Foggy S's into the Melbourne hairpin. For one more time tonight, onto the brakes. Forster trying every other way, but there we go, he's forced a mistake. They've hit each other, They've taken one another out. Melbourne hairpin, yellow flag in the Melbourne hairpin, second to last corner. Both cars having a murder, and all the while, well, that's happening. Dalavan looks like he's going to be able to capitalise on that, but a mistake for Martin Stefano. Forster too close behind, couldn't pull out the way. Hopefully one more lap to go. These boys have got major damage. How much time will these boys lose? And that's a shame, because Sebastiano is coming into the pits as well for his mandatory, so that's a shame to see, but this is racing, ladies and gentlemen. That's what happened in a blink of an eye. Dalavan is leading the race at 3 seconds, and Stefano, Forster P3 and being chased by Dicross. Can Forster keep hold of a podium spot? He should really be fighting for first place here, but as it stands, this is what happens in racing. Forster Smith, not a foot wrong all night, has got caught up in another driver's mistake. It's cost them both dearly. Forster now back into third position on the last lap of this race, coming into Cops now. Can Forster Smith keep the podium spot? Dicross, our 15-year-old driver from Peru, is going to give it everything he's got. Fantastic. A 50-year-old driver from Le Jazz is going to try and give our Berlin-based driver some nightmares coming through the Starkey Straight now. Chosen the inside, will Forster cover it. It does indeed. They're going to the Foggy S's side by side onto the brakes. Something's got to give. It looks like Forster his nerve. Dicross couldn't hold it along the outside, couldn't get it turned in. Dalavan now, out of nowhere, kept his nose clean for the final time, ladies and gentlemen. Our Italian driver through Goddard, no penalty. Lap time tonight is Dalavan. Well done, buddy, big impressive victory tonight. Kind of handed to Ayrton Stefano, comes across the line. Some real drama on the last lap. Where's Forster Smith? He will bring it home in third. Well deserved. Glad he did hold on to a podium. But Dicross, hell of a natural showing there, buddy. As we're looking at Kurt. Now, a nightmare in the sprint race has more than made up for it in the feature. P5's going to be some hell of a points for our British driver here. Kurt, a 22-year-old, is really impressed at Donnington tonight. Gets the arse end out as they come across the line. Last time at the Wheatcroft Straight. Well done, Kurt. Ollie Miles bringing on for the left-handed man. Who's it Styles in P72? Where is Sebastiano? They're a little behind the group now. 17 seconds. Sebas coming around the last corner across tonight for round 2. We'll finish P8. Congratulations, buddy. Tim, our Tier 2 driver, promoted tonight, P9, top 10 position. Congratulations, well done. It's Chris. He's going to take home the last top 10 spot, I believe he is. The car's going slowly, so I think we do have our spots. But some major drama there, Bowie. Is he out of fuel? Oh man!
He's 0.3, he's almost out of fuel.
He's not going to make it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think he's going to make it even on lean, so here comes Uber. He's going to inherit that top 10 position. 40 seconds left on the clock, so can Chris limp it home? Does he need a push through Uber? Does Uber know what's going on? I don't think he does. There we go, Uber. He's going to... Here we go. And he's around, so... No, Chris is going to run out of fuel. Is he still going, though? Just... Is he going to be able to get round the last corner? I don't think he's going to have the momentum.
0.1.
0.1, ladies and gentlemen. There we go, has he got the minute to get it across? Ubar takes the top 10 position though. Chris with a drive from the gods. He must have been on empty. Well done, Chris. That's fantastic to see, buddy. But Ubar takes the top 10 spot, and Delavan with a surprise victory in the end there. Did everything right. Good lap by him for 28.4. Fantastic driving. Ernst Stefano and the Stefano race team. Got to be happy with that. Forsten Smith, I know he's going to be disappointed with that one. Was in a healthy position there, but an accident in front of him. And that's what happens in racing, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know, and I don't call anything until that last corner, and even then, it's up in the air until that fat lady sings. From me and Bowie, from Castle Donnington, and all the GT3 boys, thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening in. Again, tonight was brought to you by Taylor Logistics. Our stream tonight was in the benefit of www.mind.org UK for mental illnesses. Please go check out their website. So from me and Bowie, from all the GT3 boys, enjoy your weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe, respect and look after one another. Peace and love. Out.